George, the curious little monkey. Here he comes, as happy as can be. Curious George, the curious little monkey. Why is he curious? Well, let's go and see.
Curious George goes to an air show. "George," said the man with the yellow hat, "there's a show at the airfield today. Let's go and watch." They got in their little blue car and drove to the airfield. The runway was filled with old-fashioned airplanes, and a crowd was gathering. But the manager looked worried. "The skydivers are supposed to give a show," he said, "but I don't see them anywhere." "Gee," said the man with the yellow hat, "maybe I can help you find them." "George, I'll meet you here later. Take a look around and don't get into trouble." George looked around. The pilots were getting their planes ready for the show. Some were cleaning and polishing, some were getting gas, and some were checking their parachutes. The music was playing and flags and banners were flying. A strange thing was hanging on one of the poles. It looked like the trunk of a baby elephant. What was it for? George was curious. He untied the thing and put it on his head. "Hey, what's that monkey doing up there?" yelled the pilot. "How are they going to take off without the windsock?" asked the mechanic. "Let's get him." It was time to get away. George ran to the airfield. The pilot and the mechanic were running after him. The planes were still waiting on the airfield. George jumped into one of them. Now he was safe. Meanwhile, the manager was talking to a daredevil pilot. "The skydivers are still not here," he said. "We can't hold up this show any longer. Go up and do your stunts." "Yes, sir." And off he went to his plane, the one that George was in. Then a voice came over the loudspeaker. "Ladies and gentlemen, the air show is about to begin. You will see the most daring stunts ever performed in the air." The pilot started the engine. The plane began to move. George peeked out. Soon, they were up in the air. "How did you get in my plane?" said the pilot. George leaned over the side of the plane. Now he could see all the planes and the crowd looking up. Was the man with the yellow hat down there too? George held onto the straps of the parachute. Suddenly, the plane did a loop. And out went George. "Oh my gosh," shouted the pilot. "What have I done?" George was scared. "Pull the string," shouted the pilot. George grabbed the string from the parachute, and it popped open. "Look," someone on the ground shouted. "There's a monkey skydiving." "He's great," someone else shouted. "What a terrific show." George was drifting down to earth. At last, he landed with the parachute on top of him. The mechanic came running over, followed by the manager. "That's the monkey who took our windsock." But the manager rushed over just in time. "Leave him alone," he said. "George shouldn't have taken our windsock, but he has given us a good show." Everyone cheered and clapped. Finally, George and the manager went back to the airfield to join his friend. "I guess they found a skydiver after all," he said. "We sure did," said the manager. "Here's something for you, George. You've earned your wings."